Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks.
What up, y'all? Listen, everybody fall in. I'm going to let everybody come in here, set everything up. I'm looking forward to having a great discussion. I'm seeing everybody come in here on the chat. What's up? How's ADOS doing out there? We're going to be able to take in part of this conversation here in the super chat. I'm going to let everybody fall in. We're going to have a good discussion today. You know what we're talking about. We're talking about Will Smith and Jay-Z and Loretta Lynch. What up, Don H? What up, Live? Zianzia. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Woo-wee! Look to have about 1,000, 2,000 people in here. We're going to have a spirited discussion. We're going to stay positive, but we're going to keep it real. How many deltas we got out there? How many deltas? Y'all going to say something about this Loretta Lynch? Loretta? I'm just saying. All right. So call in is 310-388-3499. Call in is 310-388-3499. Let me drop that now. So we're talking about two different things. We're going to talk about Jay-Z and Will Smith investing in these rent-to-own homes. But we're also then going to talk about Loretta Lynch and how Loretta Lynch, who is the former AG under Obama, she's representing McDonald's against the black franchisees. So, you know, we got to do this by images. We got to make sure we have this discussion properly. Please follow in, share the video. Also, before I get going from logistics, please press like, press the bell so you get notifications. Also, go to adolphfoundation.org. The conference is coming up. Support that organization, support the foundation as we try to grow this thing and get a productive discussion going about a black agenda, ADOS lineage, and more. Please, that's in the chat if you didn't get the first time the domain. But let me set everything up so that I can be able to show you what I want to be able to show you. I got it on screen. So they got Jay-Z and Will Smith investing in rent-to-own homes. For those people that don't know, these are the people that brought us the Emmett Till story. You have to wonder if that was just greasing us up. And now they gonna invest in rent-to-own. Rent-to-own is, to me, no way to get to home ownership, but we'll talk about that. You got, let me share this tweet. So they're gonna use, and this is a tweet that I did, they're going to use these black celebrities to sell us on rent-to-own. Watch Jay-Z come out with a rap about buying up Dumbo. Watch. And then Will Smith on the mountainside. You know how you like to be on mountains telling us about inspiration. But they're not going to give us the numbers on rent-to-own. Can we talk? But they're not going to give us the history on contract homes. We got this reality of black people being taken advantage of. Even now, Atlantic has a story, a house you can buy but never own. African Americans in the same neighborhoods decimated by subprimes are now being targeted with new predatory loan offerings. A lawsuit argues it goes into rent-to-own homes. Now, I don't know what everybody else feels, but I know that when I hear rent-to-own, I don't think it was Jay-Z and Will Smith, and it wasn't. It wasn't. Hold on. It was not Jay-Z and Will Smith. It was these two gentlemen. So Jay-Z and Will Smith are going to be the icing on top of the cake. They're going to sell us on it. But the real people behind it are these two gentlemen. Sequoia, Jay-Z, Will Smith backed Landis $165 million debt. Now, we remember Jay-Z getting involved with the anklets. That came and went. We remember Jay-Z with the NFL. But now we have this new reality of Jay-Z involved with rent-to-own homes. I don't know how that make y'all feel. Don't make me feel. Can everybody in the chat just tell me what you think about rent-to-own homes? T. James said they're capitalists. Come on, T. He said they're capitalists first, Tone, then ADOS. ADOS. GG, shout out to you. Jay-Z is the front for white capital. We got so many people in here having this discussion. If you put your comments in the chat, I'll try to share it. Lady D said never will own it. That's what I get the feeling of when I look into rent to own. You know, when I look into rent to own, I see a lot of rigmarole and movement. I even have some reviews on the Landis company in particular I'm going to get into. But I see for a lot of people, we don't want to get honest about these black celebrities. We don't want to get honest about the way that these black celebrities are positioning themselves basically to take advantage of black poverty. I don't want to hear nothing about this is productive or he a philanthropist. I just want to know, what is rent to own and how has it worked for black folks? You know, for a lot of people that are out there, they love Jay-Z and Will Smith for the way they made them feel in the 90s or even the 2000s. But it's 2021, baby. And it's time to move on and get more productive and get more sharp about the realities of what's going on around us. Again, 310-388-3499 to call in. And I'm going to be getting to the calls early, but I want to frame the show what I'm talking about when I talk about rent to own. So, got this article. Jay-Z and Will Smith back rent to own firm in $165 million rounds. A startup that helps renters build credit until they can buy a place is raising $165 million from a group of investors that includes Sequoia Capital's Jay-Z's Rock Nation and Will Smith's Dreamers BC. Landis Technologies, now hold on. So it's their companies and then they use their face. It's their companies, but then they use their face. We got to stop allowing black celebrities to cross-promote without really saying whether they stand on the premise of the other company they invested in. So their venture capitalist companies have decided to invest in rent to own, but we don't know about Jay-Z and Will Smith, but that's who they're going to sell it through. Our black aspiration and our black hope, can you see it? This model, okay, so Landis Technology, founded by Cyril Berdugo and Tom Pettit, caters to would-be homeowners but who can't afford to buy. The company purchases a house and rents it to the clients until they can qualify for a mortgage. The company can buy it back at a predetermined price up to 2 years after the initial acquisition. The client can buy it back at a predetermined price up to 2 years after the initial acquisition. The model is a new spin on rent-to-own strategy that has been employed by other companies, including Home Partners of America, which Blackstone Group Inc. recently acquired for $6 billion as part of its service. Landis provides coaching for clients on how to manage their finances. So they're going to help you manage your finances. They're going to do all that for you. You make money when you get that house back. I'm talking about as Landis. Financial inclusion is really important, I said Berdugo. So it looks like Landis been buying up all them houses. That's why your house, you can't find no houses because they done bought them all up. They bought up all the houses and they say they operate in Alabama, Kentucky, South Carolina. The company typical client is a first-time home buyer with a budget of $110,000 to $400,000. Sequoia, Jay-Z, Will Smith backed Landis $165 million debt equity round toward making home ownership accessible to everyone. Sounds really good. That ain't the story, though. Let's take the first caller tonight. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling out of Philly. Philly talk to sound like they hear us coming. They know we coming, and they trying to position themselves to take advantage of the state home ownership reparation program they're trying to push through.
Come on,
so
man.
if they could get themselves in a position, if they get themselves in a hold on, man, hold on.
Hey, what's up, man? I remember you.
Yeah, so that's the plan. They want to get in position to, exploit these state reparation home ownership programs.
Oh, so you saying this is part of a whole rigmarole in your mind?
Yes, sir.
Look, man.
Yes, sir. And you know it's where they doing it at. They doing it all down south, like you said, Alabama, South Carolina. They doing it all down south, literally. So you know who they targeting.
I agree, man. I agree. So what do you think we should do with Jay-Z and Will Smith and what they doing?
I mean, we can't cancel them because they already been crossed over. So I don't think it's too much we can do. And they not really, I don't think it's too much we can do, man. They're capitalist, and they're going to, do what they do to get the bag. I mean, it's something we can do as a collective. I mean, even if we shut them, even if we turn our backs on them, it's not going to matter. They on their way.
All right.
I mean, you all got to give reparations to get on that level.
My only pushback is, I believe, as a collective, we can do something. What we can start by is not listening to that whack lyric he did on Kanye album and throw Kanye back into where he deserved after doing what he did with Trump. How many people heard the lyric Jay-Z handed Kanye the morning? That mess was awful. But I'm just saying, we got to start saying we ain't listening to this. We ain't supporting none of this. Any last thing you want to say to the audience?
Yes, sir. No, that's it. We coming, man. I see everybody at the convention.
All right, man. All right. Woo! So,
all right, bro.
So, shout out to your babies, too. Tone love the babies. So, I'm looking at this discussion. I'm looking at Jay-Z and Will Smith and this rent to own. And I'm asking myself the question, maybe I can get some experts that call in and explain it to me, because I got some information on rent to own, but maybe one of y'all done been through it. If you haven't, I got it more than enough to actually explain it. I think for a lot of people, they're not connecting the dots. Right now, America's in transition. I've went over it. I've talked about the realities of wealth in America. Don't let them sell you on financial literacy and some kind of little program they done patched together we done seen before in a world where you're owed trillions of dollars in reparations. Don't let them sell you on that. And I don't care what the salesman looks like. If he look like Jay-Z or Will Smith or anybody else, it's still the same trash. So that's just my view. As I look at it, I have to look at it in context of a greater discussion. We do it, but we talking facts. So looking at this Landis company, these two men here, prop tech startup Landis inks deal to turn renters into buyers. Landis, a startup that uses technology to boost home ownership, has inked a deal with Transcendent Investment Management, a major owner of single-family rentals, to turn some of its tenants into buyers. Through a strategic partnership, Transcendent tenants will be offered the option of purchasing the home. The company's announced a lot of our tenants try before you buy, said Adam Wilson, Chief Investment Officer of Florida-based Transcendent, which has purchased 6,000 single-family rentals. So now we with Transcendent, we went from Landis, we got a lot of companies tied in together trying to sell us on the idea that you're going to do us a favor and have us rent to own, and you ain't going to look out for yourself and get that house back. I'm saying to you, we have to know the context. We talked about it over the last few shows. White America now has $115 trillion. Black America has 6.33. Of the 6.33, 40% is pension. It's 2.62. We only have 370 billion with a B in corporate equities and mutual funds. We only have 270 billion with a B in private business. White America has, 40 trillion between those two categories. We have 600 billion. Real estate, we have 1.74, while white America has $25 trillion. For those people that don't know the numbers, we talked about it. 83 million white homes, about 20 million black. It's about a 1-to-4 ratio. I don't want you coming in my thing talking about it's more white people and being confused about where you live. But we see it in context of a wealth gap that has exploded over the course of some of our lives. If you're 30, this is your life in a picture. If you're 40, pretty much the same thing. White America has basically taken off. And now you have white folks trying to sell us through Jay-Z the reality of rent-to-own things and all kind of rigmarole scams to me that won't end up in us gaining any wealth. But they're going to tell us it's going to gain us some wealth. Let me read some more about what they said to us, make it make sense. The genesis of the company, said Petit, was a desire to inject liquidity into a housing market where renters are stuck in a renting cycle. Over the past few years, companies have popped up seeking to boost home ownership. They're the ones most in need of a new type of service, a new technology. Mortgage brokers turn them away, agents turn them away. According to its website, Landis generates a fee when its coaches, anytime you hear coaches, I put a check mark, a red check mark next to that. Coaches clients through the process of getting a mortgage. When buyers purchase their homes back from Landis, they pay an extra 3% of the appraised value at the time of the Landis purchase. But by using Landis, Petit said, owners can also avoid paying a brokerage fee. Oh, they trying to be nice to us. The deal with Transition will help accelerate Landis growth. Currently, Landis operates in Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and West Virginia. It is focused on starter home market and will purchase homes for clients that are priced between back then, this is an older article, it was $75,000 and $400. They went up to $110. They said 75, they ain't gonna mess with those. Immediately having access to so many clients and being able to multiply our impact with a partnership with a major landlord is something we're excited about. Over the past few years, investors like Blackstone Group and Starwood Capital have pumped billions of dollars into single-family rental markets. So this is a big old rental market. That's what they need to call it. They need to say the truth. Jay-Z is invested in renting homes to black folk. For a lot of us, we just don't even want to get honest about the truth of these black celebrities, where they're at, how they're positioned. Here's a man who ain't even high school educated. And don't tell me he's not high school educated, he got positioned well. No, he wasn't to do anything and sell anything, sell you anything. This is what he said. He said he can sell water to a well. So he's going to sell you a rent-to-own home and tell you and give you a rap song on somebody's album, Beyonce album, tell you how it's about productive growth and buying up Dumbo, and you gonna believe it. But not if you watch Tone Talks. Can we talk today? I'm in here. Tell Hov you can call in if you want to get it. Look, we looking at this thing, and I want to explain rent-to-own homes. To be fair, rent-to-own homes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Again, you can call in 310-388-3499. If you have done a rent-to-own, please do call in. I'd love to hear a personal story. But even if you're just a mortgage expert or something of the sort, and you want to talk about rent-to-own and how awful it is, or if your view is that it's good for Black America for some reason, you can call in as well. But call in 310-388-3499. Rent-to-own homes, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Rent-to-own homes sound like a great idea in principle for consumers who do not qualify for a mortgage now. You get to move into a home right away. You can build some equity and get a couple of years to qualify for a mortgage. But is it the best option? This article covers the pros and cons. How does rent-to-own process work? Rent-to-own contracts typically last between 2 to 5 years. There will be an upfront option fee, and consumers are required to pay rent each month with a portion going towards the actual, mortgage or whatever. It's a small portion because I'm gonna go through a review of somebody who went through a Landis deal, and they'll tell us the truth. Pros and cons of rent-to-own homes. Pros: move into a home right away. Time to improve your credit to qualify for a mortgage. A portion of monthly rent goes towards the price of the home. Let's slow that down. Okay, everybody there, let's slow this one down. Time to improve your credit to qualify for. If you only can buy the house in 2 years, how much better your credit gonna be for a mortgage in 2 years? Black folks don't have a cash flow problem. Black folks have a black problem. So in 2 years, if you likely during a pandemic to be in a worse position than you are now, all they doing is letting you taste. They letting you taste the cake, and then you're gonna owe them for taste that makes you want to eat. So you're gonna taste the cake, then that's gonna make you want to eat the cake, then you're gonna owe them for eating the cake. Ain't that how it go down? A portion of the monthly rent goes towards the price of the home. Can qualify with poor credit, Get the home for the current market value. Cons, large upfront fees, option fees. You could be forced to leave if the owner gets foreclosed on, lose a lost option fee if you terminate the agreement, may not qualify for the mortgage at the end of the agreement. Interest rates will be higher. Let's go back to the second one. You can be forced to leave if the owner gets foreclosed. So you did deal with landlords. But the article says Transcendent owns the home. Well, where your mortgage at? You done built a whole family in this community during a pandemic when it's hard to move kids, and your mortgage is here, there, everywhere. It ain't in your hands. I'm just telling you what we got going on here, because everybody play games. They show us this, but it's really this. I'm just telling you how I'm seeing it. Maybe you see it differently. For a lot of people, they can see it differently. Sound like a lease to me. That's what it sound like. That it sound like a lot of stuff. Somebody said just like Furniture City, they got that Furniture Scam City. Come on, they gotta eat the cake, anime. Why you gonna call out Tina? Now, I'm gonna take another caller because we gonna get in here today. Please support the channel, Tone Talks. Woo, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Keldrick, and I'm calling from Arkansas. How you doing tonight, Tom?
I'm good, man. We just in here. I'm getting back on live now to give everybody a chance to call in and support each other and get some discussion going. So, give me your take on everything.
Well, I'm a licensed realtor in Arkansas. And from my experience with the rent to own, a lot of times the monthly payments that they're making don't even go towards the mortgage for one. And you correct about what you were already divorced. And the second thing is another thing that you touched on is that when you were saying that only a small portion only goes towards the mortgage, what people don't realize a lot of times those people are already charging those renters way above what they're actually paying on the mortgage anyway. And that's how I want to leave off with things.
Oh, you ain't got to rush, bro. What's your take on the fact that they're using? Why they can't just put the flyer in your mailbox, and then if you decide to do it or not, that's fine. Why they got to use Jay-Z and Will Smith? What's your take on that? Them using them?
They're using them to target black people because in the South, that's where the largest black population reside in the United States anyway. So that's just their way of getting more black people to buy homes. And it's sad because, like you said, instead of giving us reparations, they rather put these calamities in front of us and tell us something that they try to make it seem like it's good, but it's not. Rent to own is not good at all when it comes to real estate.
Man, look here. Let me tell you something else. Somebody just asked, who's responsible for fixing the house? They did this already, y'all. In the 50s and the 60s, they would give us the house. The whole thing about rent. Look, this is what they doing. Everybody thinks just buying a house is just the greatest thing in the world. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But there's two sides of a coin. Rent allows you the flexibility if you want to leave this state, city, or whatever. You don't have to sell a house or nothing else. Buying means that you own a piece of property in the neighborhood and you got to sell that before you got to do something with it. Rent it out again. It also means that when a pipe break or when the paint got to be changed or the carpet, it's on the owner when you rent. Buying means you do all that stuff because it increases the value of your property. What they doing is putting you in the gray area where you gonna be responsible in many of these contracts. Now I haven't seen theirs, but many of them to fix all this stuff like you own it. Therefore, investing in the property. But at the end of the day, you gonna lose it, and they gonna flip it again. It's kind of like, to me, if I had to call it, the used car business ain't about cars. It's about repossessions. A lot of the times in the used car business, and I'm talking about those ones you see on the street that ain't the main dealers, they give the car to people that can't afford the mortgage. I mean, for the payment, on the car. And then they wait 3 or 4 months and they come repossession and resell it. And I think that rent to own has a history of being much the same thing. And I don't know if everybody is being honest about what it means if Jay-Z or Will Smith puts their name on it. How that means what we need, how that tells us what we need to do with black celebrity. I'm gonna give you one last take on it, Colin.
Yes, and another thing you got to consider too is the landlord and tenant laws for those specific states as well.
Hey, I just posted an article. I just posted 2 articles. One on the eviction moratorium that comes up, goes up, I believe, this weekend. But the second thing I showed is the racial dot map. The racial dot map, when you line it up to where there's 25% or I believe more of people that are several months past due, it is basically where black folks live. On the racial dot map, where the green dots were throughout the South, in the Midwest primarily. When you look at this map of where yellow is, meaning 25% or more of people that are renting behind on their payments, is basically everywhere black folks live. But there's a third part. There's another chart that tells us where laws are more beneficial towards tenants versus landlords. The laws are the worst for tenants in red states where black folks are majority in. And I think for a lot of us, we don't understand. That's why they be targeting those states, so they can get you up out of the house easy. Any last thing you want to say to the audience?
Yeah, no, keep doing the great work, Tone, as you all been doing. And one more thing I want to say, I'm going to try to keep this real short. A lot of times, our people, we tend to have a habit of looking down on each other because of the neighborhoods, we're living in and how the neighborhoods look so run down. But again, because of landlord and tenant laws, a lot of people don't understand that in those neighborhoods, a lot of times we don't own them homes. They're owned by white people. And again, because they're landlords and because of the laws, if something breaks down on that home, roof caves in or whatever, certain laws only allow them, they need to fix it, but there's not like a timeline on when things need to be fixed.
Come on.
That's why you see some homes in the neighborhood where, we tend to look down on they don't take care of their neighborhood or they don't take care of their houses, but you got to understand that it's up to their landlord to fix that window that's boarded up. It's up to their landlord to fix the roof that's caving in on the front porch, or the front porch is cracking and bricks are spreading. It's up to their landlord to fix those problems. So I just want to keep that and put that in people's mind when you're driving through our neighborhood and see how these houses are ran down and there's black people living in them.
Come on, man.
A lot of times they're ready.
Come on. Thank you so much for calling. I think that was informative for a lot of people. I had a couple great people support you in the chat. Look, how a rent-to-own agreement works. This is the same article from earlier from Lender Network. Let's say you find a rent-to-own home or apartment that's worth $200,000. Your monthly payment will be about the same as if you were buying it. That's a bit of a stretch. I've heard that be higher. $1,600 a month. $250 a month goes towards the purchase price. They said it fast. Let's say $250 a month goes towards the purchase price. So you only getting $250 towards the purchase price. There's also an option fee of $9,000 required to be paid up front. We remember again in Boston, the middle black family is worth $8. In Miami, $11. In LA, $200. Where is this liquid wealth? Middle black family, when you take out depreciating assets in America, is worth like $3,000, $4,000. Owner financing may be a good idea if you lack the credit to get approved for a mortgage, although there may be a mortgage program that you may qualify for. Before you move forward on rent-to-own properties, here are some tips you can use to see if you can get approved for a mortgage. Instead is what they saying, I think. Oh, here they go again. They smiling. You ever seen Fences when Denzel Washington talk about the rent-to-own people that come trying to sell them his furniture? Go watch it if you haven't. I'm just telling you. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from San Francisco, Tom. How you doing?
I'm all right. Can I read something to you? I got something from the FTC. I like to use Federal Reserve, Federal Trade Commission. Here goes an article from the FTC. It's real short. Now I'm going to come right to you. Give me whatever your take is. What you need to know about rent-to-own home deals. back in 2016 by Amy Herbert. You dream about buying a home, but you can't, at least not yet. Maybe you don't have the money for a down payment, or you've had problems with your credit. But what if someone offered you a chance to eventually own a house you're renting? You might be told it's a chance to stop throwing your money away on rent. But we've heard that many people who thought these deals were a path to owning a home watched their dream disappear instead. In a rent-to-own deal, the person or company that owns a home agrees to sell it to you in the future for a specific price. Rent you pay now is counted towards your future down payment on the house, some small part of it at least. But I added that part. But these deals can be risky and even flat-out scams. Sometimes people find out the seller doesn't own the property. In this case, Landis is doing the deal with you, but the other article says Transcendent own the homes. The owner hasn't paid property taxes. The house is in terrible shape. Promised fixes aren't made after, and that's what the other gentleman was talking about. After a contract is signed, the house is getting foreclosed on. These are all things that go on. Give me your take on everything.
Well, Tone, you already know that you have to pay a boomer payment when you do that. So if you have property that you're paying from is rent to own, you're going to have a balloon payment after 2 years. You're in the hole. Only a small percentage of what you pay on the monthly is going towards the principal of that house. Chances are that property is owned by two or three people, or possibly a corporation. You're in deep trouble with that. You would never do that. This is like the things they did in the 1930s and 40s in Chicago to black people, where they tell you how you have to maintain this property, and then after that they pull the rug out from under you. Will Smith should be shot at his foot along with Jay-Z on two low-down dogs. This is ridiculous. And those white boys that are probably selling this property are like the ones currently that are going and buying all these properties in the renter market. Now, what is the condition of this house? And what is the condition of your credit score that's going to allow you to get a good deal?
Well, listen to this. Let me just say, we all, look, a lot of us ain't all that complex, but I'm going to say it to you real slick like this. We just read an article that said that Transcendent had the properties. Landis is the two white guys that got this website. Then Jay-Z and Will Smith going to invest and they going to market. How many people got to get paid? So if all these people got to get paid,
they're just a front. They've already got the cut. They're just a front. These white boys own the property already. They probably bought the property for pennies on the dollar. But
hold on, I'm saying to you in the article I read earlier, they company ain't even the property holder. It's another company that got the 6,000 properties. So we got to pay three different people. How you think they're gonna get paid? Like, I don't think that we understand. When you're looking at something and they moving it real fast, you need to really ask questions. Can you slow that down?
No, can you slow it down? Here it is. So, doesn't it look like the last housing crisis that we just had, where they sold these bundles of property and it's gone? You don't know who really owns it. So you're putting down your money, a few $100s. You're not getting anything for your money. All you're doing is like giving your money away. Because if they come back and you don't have that balloon payment at the end of 3 months, your ass is out.
Come on, I got a couple other. I got a couple other callers. I just want to get you in here. Any last thing you want to say to the audience?
Okay, well, do not do this, please, for God's sake. I bought 4 houses, and you know something? You really need to know what you're doing, and you better get a lawyer, and don't get their lawyer, and you better read that contract real severe, because the small print is going to be the end of your life.
So you can't use their coach, because they said they call them coaches.
No, you don't need you don't need a coach. You need a real estate lawyer who knows what the hell's on the contract, and you don't need to put your name on no paper.
Well, all right, I'm with you. Thank you so much for calling. Look here, man. We got great callers today. We having this discussion. We're talking about Jay-Z and Will Smith investing in this rent-to-own nonsense. You know, I'll come back to the tweet that I shared earlier that started off the show. They're going to use these black celebrities to sell us on rent-to-own. Watch Jay-Z come out with a rap about buying up Dumbo. What was it? You remember he had the little cartoon character and he buying up Dumbo? It made a lot of our superhero black men feel real strong. This man is just be talking. And then you got Will Smith on the mountain with these bootstrap videos. Our young women love that. You know, that's that like that Oprah things and things, or whatever she used to have, the vision boards. He loved to get on the side of a mountain and tell you about inspiration with when he made $20 million a movie. Look here, man. I'm just telling you, none of this is how it goes. Because if you look at that bottom story from the Atlantic, go read it. A house you can buy but never own. It goes into the details of this thing and how, in the end, what ends up happening is you end up getting the short end of the stick. That's the whole deal. Why they want to help you? Why they want to help you? If it ain't government trying to change a generation like we saw in the New Deal, and I know that helped white people overwhelmingly, unless we saw like civil rights, you got to ask the question, why these two men want to help you? Let's take another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm from Ohio,
Come on.
and that's been happening for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's called land contract, and what they do is that you get 2 years to get your credit right, and you put an upfront of like $10,000, all your life savings up. They know you're not going to get your credit in 2 years.
During the pandemic, you got to get your
and
credit.
And then they will pull it out, and they choose this stuff, because I'm a landlord in Ohio. And Ohio law is this: I can have, for non-payment of rent, that's why they say it's not a mortgage, it's rent. I can have you evicted in 30 days. It's that fast here.
Mm-hmm.
And what people don't see, they've been doing this so long with black people, it's like I was trying to tell some of my friends that. Because you go to Cleveland, they were complaining about this in the early 2000s, Mike White, that you're just ripping black people off.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it. Like, I actually wrote a letter to the 11th district, Nina Turner and the Chantel Brown. They're running for the Senate. And they won't really answer those type of questions with specifically black people. Mm-hmm. We're so bad here, and right now in Ohio, there is a housing shortage. Black people are getting squeezed out. Like, all the places where now black people are sitting, white people want to live. And like a good example is this: I was trying to tell a guy that he was talking about Flint. I said, you know, the biggest thing what they want about stuff like Flint, they want that property, because all these black cities, all these black water, fresh water is ran by black people. Mm-hmm. All the major water systems are in black cities, ran by black mayors. So they want you out, and the way to get you out is through like real estate. I tell a lot of my friends that, like, it wasn't like when our parents came from Mississippi. And they had that window of opportunity, which you talk about. They had the GM jobs, the Ford jobs. They had these FHA loans, these VA loans. That has all shrunk for Generation X and below. And we don't want to really talk about that. Like, we need stronger government legislation, not private equity, how Boyce Watkins and these people say it. We need the government to do its job. The FHA. Because this is how white people got all their property here. The government built total neighborhoods after the war for white families in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, you know.
And you see it, and you see it, and you see these white people, they're cashing in on it now. You got people who bought houses for $8,000. Mm-hmm. A white kid I work with, he said, we just sold this property in Ohio for $1 million.
Come on.
They bought that property for $8,000 in the 40s.
Come on.
And we don't look at that. And I tell it to the average black person, talk to your white coworkers, and you'll be shocked at what they say. My parents, I'm at work. I work for the railroad. I got a New Deal pension. These white people be at work, they be saying, well, my dad gave me $150,000 to put down on the house.
Yeah, well, I would argue that that's required now. Like, I don't know. I don't know if everybody understands the level of what I'm trying to show you guys with the wealth numbers. What I'm actually trying to tell you is that you're learning lessons from parents that are telling you something that's so outdated it doesn't matter no more. Meaning, what happened was government had decided to help white America, and there were crumbs falling, and black America, as a result of civil rights, got some of those crumbs. That wasn't enough, but it was enough to create your grandmama or your daddy. And so what's happening now is that we don't understand. Ain't nobody feeding themselves on crumbs no more. People are eating whole slices of cake. We live in a country where now, and I'm gonna pull it up again, just for those people that are new to the channel. white America has 115 trillion, almost probably 40 to 50 trillion is liquid. Black America may have this little category, 370 billion with a B, and a quarter maybe of this category may have 500 to 700 billion dollars liquid in stock, cash, or money. Black Americans, even this real estate, it's primarily boomers. I don't know if working age black people understand their social condition. And part of what you're seeing is that we were told through the Cosby Show and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and everything that we were exposed to, that if we got educated, we could have access to. Without government forcing a wealth transfer, and while government allows for white people to cut on property taxes, I've covered this in the show two weeks ago. Go watch it. White people ain't paying the property taxes they should in many of these places. Go watch the show where I talk about how estate tax was $600,000, meaning anything after $600,000 in 1997, not a long time ago, in 97 was being taxed at 40 and 50%. Now you don't start estate tax till $11.7 million. What that does is allow white people to keep the house that their grandmama get them whole. And I don't know if everybody, I mean, the $1 million, the $2 million, the $3 million house, they don't got to sell it. They just keep it and keep living there. So you combine that with a property tax break, and many states were passing down. These people are just living on 1950s living right next to you. And
You're right.
And I just...
we don't even... Black people don't see that. Because I see that in the Midwest with all these that money's still here. I tell these people that up front. These people, like, they just sit there like, my mom and dad did that. They got their house paid for. And the first thing who comes in our neighborhood are these white people. One, they're trying to buy the house from you. But white people, they own, like I told this person that, sit next to a white person who you work with. And it could be in the worst white, you could say area, you could be in West Virginia, Kentucky. And yeah, my father, we own this land. We own this. We own it. They own the property. I tell black people that we're so far behind, we don't even look at how the New Deal set Generation X white people up. Because I see it with this pandemic. These older white people are dying off, and these white people are inheriting annuities. This white dude, a guy at work told me, yeah, I just got a $2 million annuity from my mom who passed away. And you would look at them like, what? And people looked at this black dude, but they just left you $2 million? And it's just like, yeah. You know, they just left me a house with 150 acres of land.
And let me tell you something else that I try to explain to people. I don't know. It's kind of hard. My mama had me at 16. So what happened was I had the first Gen X mama. And so what I'm telling y'all is everybody who got Gen X parents that ain't tied to a greatest gen or a boomer, y'all in for it. Because they was just too late.
I agree.
And like nobody really knows because right now it's a lot of millennials tied to young boomers that still kind of cover it up. Not a lot, but they talk too much. Like they really don't understand. Just be quiet. Like what's happening right now is that you got lucky on timing, but there's another window that's happening right now. And that window is if you have like a Gen X mama, and like I'm telling you right now, I had the first Gen X mama. It's going to be really hard if that person didn't get a parental transfer down because the money had already started locking up post 80s and they started taking the pensions back.
Yeah.
So here we are, and there's a lot of black people talking for black people that don't know black people. And like the reality is like, as we move forward, rent to own ain't the answer. Getting back on topic.
It's not the answer. It's not the answer. And it's big here in Ohio. And I really feel down the road, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, with these black people, when these payments come due, they won't have the credit to finance these houses. You don't even know where the interest rates are going to be at. Like I told this guy that they're giving you a rent-to-home at 9% interest, and interest rates are 2%. They're setting you up. They're making money off the house. They're not putting money in the houses. And I can actually probably email you some lawsuits.
No, sitting there. I'm going to come to you. But let's hold on. I got this thing called Home Openly. Home Openly has a review on Landis. A recent review on Landis. last updated just in April of 21. Under it has reviews of Landis by people that have dealt with this company, the company that Jay-Z and Will Smith invested in around rent to own. Let me read the one to you, and then I'm gonna get your take. I'm not sure what kind of company this is, but I assure you my experience was not pleasant. This is Hickory, North Carolina, G. Terry. I tried to find reviews online regarding this company before submitting anything and couldn't find anything. I kept asking questions to find out more, and the information they gave me was limited. I spoke with Lindsay and told, and when she would pick up the phone and told her the day before my spouse took lunch at a certain time and could only speak then. She called an hour late and began to tell me we would only qualify for a $110,000 house, and they would require $5,000 up front. She had our documents in front of her and knew that was more than we had saved, and the money is only going toward the down payment, not the mortgage of the home. When I told her what she already knew, that on a $110,000 house, FHA only requires $3,850, and $5,000 would cover that plus most of the closing costs, she tells me about the 3% they charge, not to mention the $1,200 a month in rent they would charge, and only $128 of it going towards the down payment. The $1,072 is going to them, and there's no guarantee you will get the house at the end of the 12 months. It's a win-win situation for Landis. Give me your thoughts, and I'll let you go.
My thought is this: is that whenever you say you're buying a rent to own, the first thing I think of is Rent-A-Center.
Come on.
It's not set for you to win. They're setting the stack against you. When they say $1,200 a month, only $128 go towards the down payment, you're not going to win with that. And we want a house so bad and provide for our families. We're not looking at the fine print. And where is the government to step in to stop this?
Come on.
That's what we need. We need a strong FHA. We need, and that's why I tell these black politicians like Nina Turner, what are you going to do about this? It's all in Cleveland. It's all in Akron. It's all in Toledo. How are you going to stop predatory white lenders from coming into an already poor black community and exploit this more and just destabilize total neighborhoods? That's what they're doing.
Well, I also asked the question: how are you going to let as black folks, Jay-Z and Will Smith say this to you, and you don't put them where they go in the correct space? I guess the same way you let Kanye come back.
We won't do that. I don't understand it either. It told us the same thing. You guys, you and Yvette have brought up things that really made me think about things that have been happening all my life. I've been noticing it. Stuff like this. You know how many black people I know in Ohio? I can name 20 black families who lost houses to rent to own over the last 20 years.
Come on.
And where are they at now? A lot of them are living with their family. Nobody's looking at that.
Come on.
They're living with each other, and nobody's saying the effects of it. The effects of it is that look at all the thousands of, and where was the government at?
Come on.
Where's our federal government at? Where's our state government at? Where's our local government at? They're all compliant in this because we don't ask for laws to be changed and strengthened to help us. That's why you need reparations. That's part of reparations. The government to do its job to protect its people.
Caller, let me let you go because I want to get to some more callers, man. Woo, that was a good call. Let me take another call here and see what everybody's talking about. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? I'm gonna read another set of reviews.
Yeah, hey, what up, though, Tone? It's North.
Hey, North, let me read this to you. I got Lisa S. This is the same thing. You can go check it out for yourself on this site called Home Openly. It's the Landis Editor's Review. And what they talk about, actually, let me read the review to be fair. Landis Editor Review. Landis program purchases a home and rents it to the tenant with an option to buy. Landis reviews full financial credit and work history of each potential tenant. Those few applicants who pass the screening may select the home within the allowed amount Landis sets. A tenant pays rent, a portion of which becomes a down payment to eventually buy the home. After a year, if the tenant decides to move out, Landis deducts half of the down payment amount saved as an added fee. When purchasing a home from Landis, the tenant must and pay closing costs of the sale. Landis has only enough cash on hand structured as debt to place offers against a handful of properties. This is why the company likely rejects the majority of applicants as a way to reduce risk. It is safe to assume that only a very small number of applicants with lenders are approved. According to the company, lenders send us customers that want to buy a home but can't close a loan. It could be due to a low credit score, insufficient down payment, a recent bankruptcy, self-employment, or some other reason. And in many ways, that sounds like things are saying it ain't time to buy a home. To secure a mortgage on competitive terms is a primary and best option to buy a home. Yes, the down payment is difficult, but adding lenders to the mix, doesn't solve the overall affordability. Landis claims that owning a home is always cheaper than renting it, but Landis is a landlord. Let me read a little bit more. Buying a home is one of the most important transactions in people's lives, especially the first home. By adding Landis rent-to-own proposition, buyers are subject to subjecting their transaction to an additional 3% appreciation fees, paying rent, and a possible loss of half of the down payment amount if moving out. What's your take on this? They said they found no solid evidence that Landis offers home buyers tangible savings as part of their rent-to-own program. But at the same time, home buyers may decide for themselves that the program is worth the added fees. What's your take?
First and foremost, one of the main reasons why I wanted to call in was because I'm tired of Jay-Z. Like, I can't stand him, and I just want him to go somewhere. So, secondly, I'm so glad you're doing the show to tell him to go somewhere. That's the first thing.
Come on.
About what you just read, for me, like, they never, like the last caller was saying, they never did anything about, the government never did anything about FHA. They keep rerunning the same scam every couple of decades. It's the same thing with Jay-Z. He's running the same scam he pulled with the Brooklyn Yard Project. He made his little bit of money being the little face man or whatever the case may be, and he's lending his ugly little face today with this scam that he got going for black people. So it is what it is. You know, he's always going to be who he is. You understand what I'm saying? These people, in a nutshell, they are not relevant anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Will Smith is not relevant anymore. You understand what I'm saying? You're up here doing movies on Netflix now. You know, I'm wondering if you're pulling the same $1 million salaries that you used to pull. So now you up here with this scam with Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? What y'all got going on behind doors? What kind of co-conspiracy, cohort stuff you got going on?
Let me read a couple more reviews at the bottom of that article. Number 1 by Lisa S. This is June 2020. I was excited to apply only to be rejected, saying I needed to work on my profile. No other directives. I was told when I was close to buying a home in a year, contact them. I meet the minimum credit score and income, so I was very disappointed. I thought the program was created to help me do this and not wait until I do it on my own. Next one, Monica S. So it sounds like they fishing. They fishing for people that really should be getting regular mortgages, and then they find them and they happen to come to their program. And what Jay-Z and Will Smith provide is a way for more of those people to come around, and maybe those people should just go get a regular mortgage. One of the most this is what Monica S. said, March 2020 out of North Carolina. One of the most emotionally exhausting, let me actually pull it up so everybody can read along, because I apologize for that. One of the most emotionally exhausting experiences I could have ever endured. This New York company has no clue how to handle a community in their service area that has a housing stock steeped in history, which means some fixers. This company can be passive aggressive and request demands for repairs that a local will look at a New York company and dismiss them. I was enchanted with the idea of being able to get the right mortgage on my timeline, but becoming repulsed by the lack of transparency, the failure to be upfront, and the general feeling of deceptiveness. I felt out of the loop too many times, and I lost out on 2 homes. This is the company that Jay-Z and Will Smith and they invested in. You know, this is it. So I just wanted to kind of hit this because I want to turn the corner. I wanted to kind of hit this, and I'm going to let you go, North. Thank you so much for calling in. I wanted to hit this and apologize. I didn't know you were going to say something. And give everybody a chance to see this rent-to-own thing for what it was. At the end of the day, they're going to have Will Smith on the side of it. You know how he be on the side of the mountains climbing with his kids? And then he'll stop and act like it's candid and start telling you about butterflies or you know, the thinness of the air and how it makes him feel like he can fly, all kind of stuff. That man say anything. And then you got Wilson and you got Jay-Z. Jay-Z come out with he'll come out with a rap, you know, you got to push the line, because if you don't, then you don't know that you're supposed to have a house that rent could go on it. You know, I better give you anything. Ooh, that's hot, because Hope said it. Man, if you don't get out of here. Look, I want to talk about it. I wanted to hit this, and I feel like we did. We got some great calls, but I want to turn the corner, spend 10, 15 minutes on this Loretta Lynch. Y'all heard about Loretta Lynch? Loretta Lynch. That's a former attorney general. Now, no way I'm not trying to be disrespectful of this Adolph's woman, as I understand it, becoming the attorney general under Obama, even though she only served for, I believe, a year and a half or something. This is the one that got caught on the plane with Clinton and all that. So, she ain't the attorney general anymore. We all know that. We all know that. But what she's doing now is she's representing McDonald's as McDonald's deals with this. Black McDonald's franchisees say their profitability gap is worse than it appears. A pair of current McDonald's franchisees are accusing the company of a predatory growth strategy by steering black operators into low-income, high-cost neighborhoods and concealing how much debt is required to run them. James and Daryl Berg, two brothers who operated a combined 6 stores in Tennessee, said the company deliberately concealed a wide gap in profitability between black and white franchisees. The lawsuit says that black operators' annual net income is $400,000 less than white operators. Understand, they told us about Calvin, and Calvin gonna own the McDonald's. They gave us the Nixonian idea that black capitalism will fix black poverty. None of it worked. But the one place that they started this nexus is the black franchisee. Now, for too long, these people were quiet. But now they seeing this race. They seeing this race show up even in their lives. And now we see how it shows up not only in their lives, but in their court case. Because in their court case, McDonald's, by some reason, wink of the eye, ends up with Loretta Lynch as one of their lead attorneys. The face of Loretta Lynch, if it were to be heard in front of a jury, the face of Loretta Lynch in the public sphere, Paul Weiss, Loretta Lynch tapped to defend McDonald's from discrimination lawsuits. And we see, even in the articles, that we mentioned Loretta Lynch as somebody who's going to protect the interests of McDonald's. In this article, it says, black franchisees were kept in the dark by design. James Ferrero and Gerald Parks, attorneys for the black franchisees, said in a statement. Loretta Lynch, an attorney defending McDonald's in his discrimination case, called the allegations unfounded and baseless. So they pull her out to be in the article when it's time. But what's black people going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? Because when she was confirmed, all the Delta sisters came out to her confirmation. Loretta Lynch's sorority sister came to her attorney general confirmation. But now that she's actually here doing this stuff like this, I want to know where the Delta sisters are at now. Are y'all going to put out a letter that we don't really go along with what Loretta Lynch is doing and speaking out against these black franchisees, or actually representing against them, or is it just business now? I'm just saying, because I don't know how this all works out for black folks. If we can't even when we get to the point where we do black capitalism, we still ain't profitable. Let's take the last caller tonight. Caller, what's your name? Where you call from? Hello? I think we already lost him. But look, I think for a lot of us, we got to start looking at Will Smith, Jay-Z. We got to start looking at Loretta Lynch and asking the question, how do we move forward in a world where we allow these people to do these kind of things around us, in a world where we have little to no wealth, as I've shown before? Well, you can't. You got to do politics. Again, go to AdolphFoundation.org, support the foundation. Also, there's a conference coming up. I look forward to having this discussion. Please support my channel. Go to ToneTalks.org to subscribe or donate. Share this video. I love the discussion. Let's keep it going, because if we don't talk about it, it seems like nobody else will. Thank you.